Very cool. Hand over to you.
Good to go.
Thank you.
All right. Is that working on me now, somebody? Assuming?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
I think. Let me just check that.
No worries.
Should. Can you move the imaging? Carol. Do you want to straight to just. There we go. Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, obviously I've got a mixed bag here with a couple of people here in audience and a couple of you in Zoom, and obviously thank you for your time today. My name's Justin Moran. I've been a personal trainer for 27 years now. And along my journey, it's been about trying to help people from all walks of life, from sporting background through to Cirque du Soleil. I trained some people over a period of time there. General Joe Blow people trying to get healthier, fitter, and live their best lives. And so when I was asked by Natalie to get involved with this today, it was a little bit exciting and sort of also something that resonates with me. My mum's sister is surviving of breast cancer. My wife's, or our sister-in-law has survived breast cancer. And my long-term client of 12 years surviving is Jacqueline, who has been absolutely fantastic, helped her lose 23 kilograms and to be able to run, sprint, do weights, the whole package, and is still going beautifully today, which is fantastic. So to come along today, I hope that I can share some value in your lives. And basically, it starts with 7 steps to a healthier, happier, and balanced life. So as we go through this, the 7 different points that I'll touch on, I hope, as I say, that you get some value. If you feel free or want to, reach out with a phone, email, or any level of follow-up from this, or even get notes from me with any of the links that are included, please don't hesitate to reach out, because you're welcome to do so. So number 1's lifestyle balance. To me, everything is about trying to balance your life out. We all know at different stages, school's a priority, sports a priority, our relationships, our kids, our own personal self are all priorities in our lives, and trying to find what is the most balanced way of living a life is pretty crucial, I think, and I want to give you some strategies to help you maximise yours. So number 1 is that obviously maintaining a balanced lifestyle is a massive challenge. There's 168 hours in a week. And this is the part where I try to bring exercise into it. If we only do 1.68 hours of exercise in a week, so 3 times 30-minute workouts over the course of a week, it's only 1%. Now, in real terms, when we say, oh, geez, I can't get to the gym today, or I can't go for a walk, or I can't do this, or I can't do that, if we can't devote 1% of our week at least to exercise, then I think we've got something wrong with the actual balance that we've got going on in our lives. So looking at that side of the equation, it's interesting when people ring up and inquire for personal training and they ask, oh, how many sessions a week should I do? I usually, in the opposite of a sales pitch, try to explain to them that if they do 3 sessions a week with me, it's only 2% of their week. And if they don't do anything for the other 98%, then why bother doing 3 personal training sessions? Whereas if they do 1 session a week with me, less than 1% of the week they're spending with me, but ideally setting up the rest of their week so that their percentage, or their 99% of their week, is actually structured around being healthy and getting the benefit of my service and education and knowledge to get them to do stuff. So again, today, I want to share some of those strategies with you. If we look at this one, and this is something that we give all of our clients, and again, if you'd like me to send you a paper copy of this, I can arrange to do so, but we give all of our clients a balance wheel. And what that's designed to do is give you an actual chance to reflect on where and how happy you are with certain elements of your life. Now, if you're looking at close at the circle and you can or can't see it, we start with there's happiness, there's finance, mental health, general health, nutrition, relationships, and that can be with your dog, with your wife, your husband, whoever. The reality is it's what you see as a relationship to right there, your career, your fitness, your relaxation, and your sleep. And the way we look at it, or I look at it in terms of trying to work someone out and achieving the goals that they're trying to achieve, is that sometimes it's some areas that are deficient that are actually driving you away from what it is that you're trying to achieve. So example, one of the ones I see commonly with our clients is they rate their finances a 9 or a 10, they rate their career a 9 or a 10, and everything else is lacking. And so therefore, we'll try and say, okay, well, look, for starters, your relationship, it's a 3. Why is that? Could you have a date night once a week? Would that maybe potentially improve your relationship? Your sleep's bad. Could we look at looking into your sleep habits, which I'll share with you something about that too, if that's an issue. And all of a sudden you start realising that some of the things that are taking all of your priorities, the ones that you're not, they might be the ones that are holding you back from your best and healthiest and best life. So really valuable tool. You're more than welcome to have a rating of that yourself. I've only ever had one woman give herself a full circle of 10s. Now, whether that was right or not, who are we to judge? The fact is she was very happy with where she was, and that's all you can ask. So most other people, it's a struggle to find a balanced lifestyle. So I hope that's a good insight thus far. Moving forward, number 2 of our 7 points is goal setting. And do you set yourself goals? Now, to me, I see a lot of people that come along, and it's almost a chance of success when I get someone to start up personal training. They come to us and I give them a goal planner to set out what it is they're trying to achieve. Now, if they haven't filled in detail their goals, I know the chances of them succeeding in getting to their goals are a lot harder / may not even happen ever, compared to the person that comes with a full filled in absolute, I'm going to achieve this, I want this, I want this. Those people, very easy to change, or not so much change, but set up for success. So do you set yourself goals? And I want to share with you one of my little goals. This is going back quite a while now, but in 2015, I was at a stage where I was starting my business. So just-in-time personal training has been going for just about 13 years. And there was a period there where it was just trying to find a way of setting up a business and managing my lifestyle. So sleep, I was getting 4 to 5, maybe 6 hours if I was lucky. So one of my goals was to try and improve my sleep. And you'll see how that relates back to the lifestyle balance wheel. It also relates back to what my goals are. Was to get the exercise for 15 to 45 minutes, 5 times a week. Lose weight. I was probably sitting around 106 at the stage and wanted to get that down. So that became a goal. Improve diet, more time with Lauren, which is my wife, more play with the kids, etc., etc. And the reality is that having those goals in front of me became a real catalyst to get out there and go and achieve them. And if you go through all of them, I think the only one I didn't achieve was the losing weight. I got down to 102. So the reality is it becomes something really, really, if you are that driven to get there, something that you've got something to work towards. And I do urge you, if you've got some goals around your health, fitness and wellbeing, that you might sit down and try to work out what's relevant for you. To me, and getting back to the lifestyle balance wheel, success to me is happiness. So I think we can all talk about, for example, getting down to 100 kilograms or under. Is that really a number one thing in my life that's going to make me happy? Yes and no, but probably not. So happiness being the key driver is what I try to implement with all of the clients that we see, all the different people I suppose touch throughout my life with the roles that I play, be it sports coaching, being a dad, being a husband, etc. It's all about trying to work towards happiness. So I think that's a really important one. The sleep log. So just giving this as one example, because we often find one of the biggest holding back factors for a lot of people with achieving their goals is if their sleep's bad, what do you reckon happens as a result of that? Your diet choices are bad, your exercise, you don't have much energy, therefore you're potentially grumpy, and everything goes in a negative cycle. So setting yourself a sleep log, and I'll just have a mouthful of water if I can. Okay, so having a sleep log is a great way of actually tracking what it is that you're doing. So if you asked, and I'll ask Natalie, how was your sleep 4 weeks ago on that night, exactly 4 weeks ago last night? No idea? Okay, and that's the exact answer. We ask anyone, was your sleep good or bad? And you might go, oh, generally it's good, generally it's bad. But if you actually specify, i.e. tonight, Thursday night, I write down the date, what time did I go to bed? So I'll say 10 o'clock. What time did I wake up? The next morning, I get up, it's next to my bed, 8 a.m. Now that's a 10-hour period. How many hours do I reckon I slept of that 10? So I could go, oh, I remember getting up, go to the toilet, had a glass of milk, and I couldn't get to sleep for 2 hours. Cuts it down to 8 hours. And then the big one, what's the quality of the sleep? So we all know sometimes we can have a 6-hour sleep and it's amazing, you feel $1 million, so it's a 10 out of 10. We could also have a 10-hour sleep where we've just got woken, and the quality might be a 2. So being able to track it, and you'll soon find if you start looking at setting those strategies around your sleep, that all of a sudden you start thinking, maybe I should go to bed a bit earlier. maybe if I read a book first, maybe if I dim the lights a little earlier, you'll start developing better sleep hygiene and improve your overall sleep, which then will hopefully lead to other better developments with your whole aspect of life and health. All right, now there's only you three here, so you're going to jump up in front of me. And if you're at home wanting to join in here, we've got an exercise break number 1. Now, we're going to lead into a posture part of this today, but one of the exercises we give all of our clients is a scapular depression. Now, the reason that this is important, 90% of the population are overactive in their upper trapezius. So if we're overactive in our upper trapezius, it means we can potentially have poor posture, headaches, aches and pains, and then most importantly, we're going to move inefficiently. So you three, jump up. Now, can I get you all, first of all, you get your shoulders and we pull them down as low as we possibly can. So with hands or without, it's getting the shoulders down. Second, we get our chest and we push it out. Good. We keep our chin above and nice and straight, not forward. So nice and neutral. And then the last part is we open our hands. So I can tell someone's posture just quite simply. If I'm standing here, that tells me that I've got rounded shoulders, okay? So all of you, when you got up, stood there like this, which is what most people do. So if we open our hands, it helps our shoulders pull back. And the last part is to drop your shoulders down. Now, at the moment, that's really good posture. All three of you look amazing in here. Those of you at home, if you are doing it, we want to be nice and relaxed, and it means that we're taking all pressure off every element of our body that otherwise sags, okay? Now, as we stand there, I'm going to get you all to try and not lift your shoulders, but lift your shoulder blades. So this part lifts and your shoulders follow. Whereas if you watch me do shoulders, it's a different movement. So just gently up with your shoulder blades. Yeah, you all look pretty good with that. And then really slowly down. Excellent. One more time. All right, now if you were to do 10 of those a day, which is what we get our clients to do, you'll start opening up and unlocking rather than where you sit like this all day, every day. Okay, so they're called a scapular or shoulder blade depression because we're depressing and pulling down our shoulder blades. Any questions from you guys? Good. Hopefully you guys are doing that at home as well. Have a seat. That's exercise break number 1. We'll move on. All right, number 3. So I always try and, when I'm trying to get the best out of people, enlisting the help of a coach, a mentor, or a personal trainer sometimes is that next step that gets you to where you want to be, because you're sort of in a rut, or you don't know better, or you could need someone in your corner to help you unlock your way through to get the best out of yourself. Now, I've put 3 really good articles here, which again, Natalie might be able to share with you, or I can share with you. Really, really good little articles. And number 1, which I'll see if you 3 know, does anyone here know who Glenn Mills is? I think the answer will be a no. Okay. If I said to you, do you know who Usain Bolt is?
Yeah.
Do you know who he is? Got 2 out of 3. All right. So Usain Bolt, if you don't know, was the fastest 100-meter runner in the world and still holds the world record to this day. Is an amazing athlete. I was lucky enough to witness him at Albert Park in a race down there when he came to town, and it was just heaven to watch someone move so freely and so well. Glenn Mills is his coach. So you might just think that someone who needs to just run 100 metres and go straight down a line might not need a coach, but Glenn Mills is the guy that's behind all of Usain Bolt's success. So it's a really good article just in terms of making you understand that even the best people in the world need a coach, and sometimes it can be a helpful pathway for yourself. Not trying to sell personal training with us, just trying to say in general, you might benefit from someone steering you from as little as once a fortnight, once a month, once a week, whatever might work for you is a great way to have someone navigate your pathway to better health and well-being. The second article is called The 7 Proven Successful Tools for Long-Term Health and Fitness Results. It crosses over a little bit of the stuff that I'm covering today because it's an article that I wrote, but it might just help you put a lot of what we're doing today into words to take away from today. And the third one is if obviously you need to choose a personal trainer, it's a little bit of a checklist for you to try and find who it is that you choose, and because there are a lot of dodgy ones out there, so therefore it just gives you the pitfalls to find the right person for you. But that's that one there. So number 3 out of our 7 tips is to maybe enlist the service of someone to help you through with your health, fitness and wellbeing journey. Number 4, now how could we go without getting better and healthier without exercise? So number 4 has an article as well written by myself, and that is regular exercise. It all starts with behaviour change. Now, behaviour change, believe it or not, is the biggest key to getting exercise results. In a second, I'll share with you what that calendar is and why it's there. But if I can just go back to standard fitness guidelines say, and let's say someone said to me, Justin, what do I need to do to get healthy? How many days a week should I exercise? Science says 3 to 4 times a week for 30 to 45 minutes. So in theory, that's what we should all be striving to do. If I could share with you that 22% of the population actually achieve a level of regular exercise. Doesn't mean the intensity is high, but just to get out and do exercise for those standards of 3 to 4 times a week, 30 to 45 minutes, 22% of the population do that. So that's telling me that 78% of people, sadly, if my maths is right, yes it is, 78% of people are not doing the standard of what we should be doing. Now, someone comes to me as a personal trainer, and I see it all the time, and my team, same story, is they say, what should I do? And we don't say, go and do 3 to 4 times a week for 30 to 45 minutes. We explain that that is something we want to work towards and build to get there. But what if we start with as little as 5 minutes a day? Now, some people, whenever I say that to a lot of high achieving people, the people that are in the 22%, they'd look at that and go, 5 minutes, what's that going to do for me? Because they're already doing the other stuff, which is great. But for the 78% of people, we need to start with the behaviour change. So what I'm trying to get across to you guys today, you may be very active, you may not be. You're either in the 22 or the 78%. But if you start off with a regular IE calendar, so we give all of our clients a just-in-time calendar to track their record of their daily exercise of what they're doing. You'll see there's a trend there. The sleep log was about accountability and helping you get into behaviour and routine. Our calendar is designed to get you into accountability and routine to set up behaviour change. So whether you use our calendar, whether you just go and buy a $2 calendar from the local post office, newsagent, using a calendar and tracking that you went for a 5-minute walk today, 5-minute walk tomorrow, and so on and so forth, are the best ways to change your behaviour before they are to go out and say, let's go out for 3 to 4 times a week for 30 to 45 minutes, because that doesn't work. It fails, and hence why 78% of people are in that boat. Any questions from you guys here while I've got you? Makes sense so far?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 5-minute day. So interestingly enough, behaviour change takes 6 months. So we can change a habit in 21 to 28 days. And that's a quick little snap, but it can easily get out of that routine. Behaviour change is 6 months. I'll share this example with you, which is a great one. I had a mum and a daughter-in-law. The mum was paying for the daughter-in-law because she did not want to come to training, didn't want to do any exercise. The mum, I think, wanted her in shape for her husband, but regardless, whatever the reason, she was paying for her to come to training. She came kicking and screaming, didn't want to be there. And I kept explaining to her, how about we stick through this once a week for 6 months? I'll give you fun stuff to do. Doesn't have to be hard. And let's see how we go. And I kid you not, she kicked and screamed, not exactly, but not happy to be there for the first 5 months. In the last month, she started to start a little bit enjoying. And then in the last week, believe it or not, of the 6 months, so this is just random that it sits with the exact behaviour change 6-month period, she rang me the Monday morning and said, I can't make it today, but you're not going to believe it. I've done 5 days in a row this week and I feel amazing and I now understand what you mean. And long story short, she stopped with me training about 3 weeks later. She went on and joined a gym and the rest is history. So that's a good example of someone taking the full 6 months. A lot of people along the way get into such a great routine and habit that leads to the 6 months, that leads to a year, that leads to life. So a calendar, really, really good part of getting you into the behaviour change process of exercise and getting you into that, I suppose, just everyday thing that it's fun, it's a non-negotiable, something that you do. That's an example of one of my clients. Now, you can't really see in close to that, but if I can try and verbalise what it is that I originally told this lady. Now, this lady started training with me at 146 kilograms. We got down to 102.3, I think it was. It took a while to get there, but the calendar was designed to say, can I get you, like I said to you guys today, 5-minute walk to start with. She started doing that, and that's what all those little ticks are. There's ticks there for her exercise. There's ticks for her daily posture exercises. So the attraction that I showed you, plus some others that we're going to do today, all formed part of this behaviour change process. If you're getting up every day to do this and da da da, and you're going for your walk, all of a sudden it becomes routine it becomes behaviour, it becomes part of your life. So she started walking, if I can get a bit closer here, she was counting the blocks that she walked around, how long it took her. So you'll see it took her 15 minutes to do 6 blocks. And then she worked on building up to 30 minutes, 12 blocks, and getting fitter and stronger and better. And obviously we get ticks every day. She got 31 out of 31 days for that month to make it 100%. So the behaviour became ingrained. We kept personal training a couple of times a week, setting the goals of what to do outside of that. But the routine and the behaviour was all set by that calendar. Benefits of exercise. Now, this one's just a great little example of our brain activity. So the brain after sitting quietly, so when we sit at a computer and we do nothing for an hour and we don't get up, we can get pretty just, As soon as we get up and walk, so you can see after a 20-minute walk, our brain's going nuts. The chemicals, the feel-good release stuff, exercise is obviously super beneficial. We all know it, but that's just a good little picture example of showing that. An interesting one I share with a lot of people, because most of our client base for personal training would typically be between 40 and 80 years of age. And it's interesting to see that, as this quote says, we spend the first 40 years of our life ignoring our bodies to make money, and then we spend the last 40 years trying to spend that money to regain our health. And that's, again, example of that lifestyle balance wheel where I've explained that most people come to us, career high, finance high, forgetting about everything else. And they come back and try to chase what they've lost and let go and neglected all that time. So really important, no matter what age and stage that your life is at, to try to invest that time and effort into your own health and well-being and body. Exercise break number 2, if I can get you all up again, please. Same position exactly. Very good. All right. Now this one, we're going to move from that position I've just set you up. So automatically, without telling you to do this, you've all just gone bang to a great position already from just one little advice. So this time, we're going to put our hands out in front of us. Now, you were the only one. You two were pretty good. You lifted your shoulders a little bit. So put your hands out, drop them down. So what we're looking for here is our shoulders still stay down, because we're overactive here. We don't want to use that. We have our arms out, chest out again, chin relaxed. All right. And all I want you to do here is squeeze your shoulder blades together, but down low. So a lot of people will squeeze up high, go down very low and squeeze. And you'll feel a little pinch, hopefully, between your shoulder blades. Can you feel that or not? Yeah? So it's a little pinch squeeze, like there's a pen in between your shoulder blades. Normally, if I was your trainer, I'd be going around and touching and giving you exact specifics, but hopefully you get the idea of this. And as you're doing this, you're going to strengthen your lower and middle trapezius and start activating what most people don't use. So I'll get you to do a couple more, and I'll get you to sit down and I'll explain. All right, one more. Have a seat. So that simple squeezing of your shoulder blades, a lot of people would do 10 of those in a day, and the next day go, oh, I feel a little bit different, because we usually default to using, again, 90% of the population are overactive. So by getting down lower, it then means that we go and do things properly. So can't tell the amount of people that have come for personal training, and I've said, do you know how to do a lat pull down? And they all go, yeah, put their arms up and they lift their shoulders up, and they just keep strengthening the bad overactive muscle. As soon as you teach them how to do that, it starts the ball all over again. Strengthen the lower part, reduces headaches. Everyone walks around going, I feel so much better with my posture, and so forth. So that's exercise number 2. Any questions from you guys?
No, that's good.
A good hurt. All right, next one. Number 5 is body composition. So this is a big one, especially for women. I can't tell you the amount, and you may or may not be in the same boat, but the amount of women that come with this preconceived focus on weight, and wanting to lower their weight and looking at it from weight terms. So my biggest thing is to try to change the focus, to make it focusing on strength training, because getting stronger, we can all benefit from that. Being a kid, being an adult, being a woman, a man, it doesn't matter. So trying to focus on strength training as a goal, and trying to focus on muscle percentage instead of weight. It's a much healthier way to look at it. And it's something that it's a sad indictment on the world that we're so into social media and body image and all of that sort of stuff, that's what we worry about. And I've seen too many women not want to train because they're scared of being seen doing something, because they're seen as being overweight, unhealthy, looking bad, whatever it might be. So try to change the focus on why you're doing something, and in turn, you'll see the benefits of changing your body composition. So I'll just ask, while you 3 are here, and everyone else at home, you can answer to yourself whether you're right or wrong. You three, can fat turn into muscle? Yes or no?
No.
No, no, and you're on the spot.
I don't think so.
Don't think so? Well, you're right. It's no. So fat cannot turn into muscle. Another question though, can muscle turn into fat?
No.
Natalie?
No.
No? No, and?
No.
Correct. You've all got a job as a personal trainer. So sadly, that's an exercise. That's a question for anyone that I interview for a job with me. If they're, because we only employ university degree qualified trainers, if they've been through university and they answer that question wrong, that's a red flag for me, because you've gone through a whole university degree and you should know it. If you guys got that wrong, doesn't matter. But for someone who's in the profession, bad. So the reality is that fat and muscle are two separate entities. They literally cannot ever transform. One can go up and one can go down, all that sort of stuff, but they can never transfer into the other. Now, I usually show this picture to men and women that I train, but mainly women, to try to drum into them the importance of body composition and not weight. So if we look at those two girls, and obviously everyone has a different opinion, you look at those and go, I like A or B, or left or right, whatever. Either way you look at it, the girl on the right weighs heavier, but she's got a far greater body mass of muscle. She's got a far leaner body fat percentage, okay? But again, we've all got different preferences of what we want to be and what we want to look like. But the reality is I need you to understand that weight should not be the defining focus of when you're trying to exercise and train. It's either body composition or getting stronger should be your focus. Any questions? No. So this is a great example, and I have many examples. When we train our clients that want to change their body composition, so whether they do come for weight loss, whether it's body fat reduction or muscle increase, we use an Omron handheld scale, and it gives them a snapshot on the spot of where they are with all those figures. So there's weight, there's BMI, body fat percentage, muscle percentage, a metabolism equation around those numbers, body age, and a visceral fat reading. A visceral fat reading is the internal fat around your organs. Now, when someone comes to me and gets their first score, that becomes the catalyst. They've come for change. My job's to try and help set up for that change. So the calendar, setting up the program for them, all that sort of stuff. And the thing is, we try to do it every week. So whenever they come back once a week, rather than doing 3 months later, where they've been good for a week, bad for 3 weeks, good for a month, bad for a month, it's going to be all over the place. By literally having a week by week feedback loop, you can see where you're heading. So this person in particular, over that period of time for 3 months, you can see has lost 7 kilograms. But more importantly, the body fat wise has lost from 37.2 down to 31.6% body fat. And the muscle percentage has increased from 28.5 to 31.9. So to me, they're the two factors I'm looking at, body fat and muscle. That's important. The weight just does what it does and follows suit. So that's just a good example though of showing and how tracking stuff like that can help you with your goals if that's the way you're inclined to work towards. Exercise break number 3. Up you get again. Sorry to keep getting up and down. This time I need everyone to put your bum squeeze tight. So you can either touch it to make sure it is, or you can just squeeze it. Okay. Put your thumbs into your lower back. Yep. And now gently take your chin up and your head and lean back and just get a back extension. Now there's 2 different versions. So I've got you doing version 1, which is a squeeze bum version. While you're there, I'll get you to lower your hands onto your bum and see that it's squeezed. Keep the stretch, shut your bum off, and then get a further extension. Can you feel the difference? So they're 2 similar but different stretches. First one, squeeze bum, extension. Second one, relax bum, squeeze back. And that's a great one, and I'll let you have a seat and relax for that one. Good, does that feel all right?
Yeah.
So the fact of the matter is, if we think about when we do the dishes, they're in front of us. We cook, it's in front of us. Drive a car, it's in front of us. Everything's in front. We sit down, we curl. So extension, we don't do enough of it. So getting up and doing a back extension is something we should try to do as much as we can throughout every day. Okay, so that's a really, really good one. Moving on to number 6, which is again, as you see, there's been a bit of a flow through everything I've done with you today, is around posture. Posture to me is one of the easiest ways to get buy-in, to get people to understand where their body is, and then to give them a focus on how to improve it. So because I've got you 3 here today, I'm going to ask a question. Do you know whether, or if you think your posture is good, bad, average, or excellent, what would your answer be?
Bad.
Bad for you, you reckon? Okay.
Average.
Average and
Average.
average. All right. Most people always say average, bad, or terrible. No one ever says, it's very rare, I should say, that they will say it's excellent or good. Now, when the next subsequent question I ask is, how do you improve it? Do any of you three know how to improve your posture? Practice what? Could be, but practice what?
Doing the repetitive movement, changing your posture, like.
Yeah. Get thereabouts, but not quite the answer. I'm trying to give a bit more educated answer, like to specifically give you something to walk away with. No?
No idea.
Okay, so to improve your posture, it takes two things. Everything has an opposite effect. One side of us needs to be stretched, one side of us needs to be strengthened. So if we just stretch, but the other side doesn't get strong to hold us there, we still fall back to where we are. To give you an example, my posture shows I have a lordosis. So can you see my big arch in here, which means that my hamstrings and bum are longer and my quads and hip flexors are tighter. Yeah. So if I stretch these, which I probably need to do more than I do, and I don't, stretch my quads, stretch my hip flexors, they will lengthen. But if I don't strengthen my bum and hamstring to shorten them, I still stay like that. Does that make sense? So everything has an opposite effect. And so when you do a posture assessment, which is, I'll show you in a second, we do a posture assessment on our clients as well. Taking a posture assessment allows you to work on your deficiencies. So like I said before, you three here stood with your hands like this. That straight away tells me you're tight in your chest. So the more we do chest stretching and opening that up, fantastic. But if we don't do back strength to hold it there, we're just going to resort to that again. So everything has an opposite effect of each other. Posture is the position in which we hold our bodies while standing, sitting, or lying down. Your posture directly affects your health. Now, I've already asked you how yours is, and there's all these different curves. So that's what an assessment does, tells you what your area. So the lordosis, the purple one, that's me through here. Okay. Then a kyphosis is the people that have that hunchback type of position. So assessing for that helps you set up your strength program and your stretching program to then try to improve your posture. And when you've got a little target about that, and actually, as you'll see when we get to my one there, when I can tell you that you have got one or the other, you go, because from looking at yourself, you just do what you do every day. But when you realise that your head's this or your shoulders are this, it gives you a bit of an insight into, hang on a second, I could fix that. If you tell me that I just stretch that, I might stretch. Oh, I just have to do that back one. I can do that. So they become a simple strategy that can help then focus and lead you into wanting to exercise or just wanting to improve your posture. So it's a very simple little one to do. But unfortunately, I reckon only 3%, if that, of personal trainers in Victoria or Australia do a posture assessment because they want to try and get in there and smash you. So you go, oh, you are such a great trainer. I feel tired. You're really good. Whereas we're the opposite of that. We want to make sure that you know what you're doing, set you up for success, and we can make you tired and make you work hard if we need to as well. But it's really important to know how your posture is to work from that so that your programming complements where you need to be. Any questions so far?
No, really interesting.
No worries. Last little exercise, maybe. There could be another one. Let's see, but we'll stand up. We've got pelvic tilts. Now, this is a really interesting one because most of us have such a locked pelvis unless we do Pilates. Does anyone here do Pilates? No? No? Okay. Pilates is one that most people, if I ask, they'll go, yeah, I know what that is. So I'm going to get you all to stand with your feet shoulder width apart. You're going to put your hands like a fake pair of hips, like this. Yep. And we're going to tilt our pelvis down and forward. So your bum goes up to the sky. Looks stupid, don't worry, no one's looking. And then down the other way. But while you're doing that, you can't get your shoulders rocking forward and back. So your shoulders stay still. That's called an anterior pelvic tilt. And that's a posterior tilt. So you guys keep going. I'll give you any tips if I need to. Too fast. That's really good. There you go. There's a master. Really good. So that's 10 out of 10. She's doing a really nice U shape, which means she's got good control of her pelvic tilt. You can squeeze your glutes, that happens, but you're just going. So no, I don't know about your dancing, but you got a bit of work. So, so we get the arch going up and we get the arch going back. And what that's doing is it's freeing up because otherwise we just get locked, right? So having that freedom of movement, that's much better. There you go, you've learned from the best. She's doing well now. So that little movement releases. So 1 minute when you're going here, you're tightening up these muscles, your bum's relaxed. When you go the other way, your bum squeezes tight and everything's moving and freeing up. So otherwise, if you're locked there and you go and pick up something heavy, I've done my back. So it's a really good way to keep it nice and loose and fluent. So pelvic tilts, another one that we put in our daily exercises for our clients, but you just did the standing version. There's on your all fours, there's lying on your back. But all those movements are going to help get free through there. Helpful?
Yeah.
All right. Next one, number 7. So it just gets down to our nutrition and healthy eating. Now, some statistics. So big one that I'm always about is making sure that we as a society ideally move towards better health and well-being. And unfortunately, we haven't done a great job of it thus far as per these figures. So children and adolescents aged between 2 and 17, 25% of them are living with overweight or obesity. And that's 1.2 million children and adolescents in Australia, which is pretty sad to see and obviously understand that that's where we sit as a country. That's obviously fortunate and should have the ability to not have those sort of statistics. 17% of that obviously are overweight, but not obesity, and 8.2% of kids are living with obesity. Okay, transfer that now into adults, which are 18 and over. We've got 2 in 3, so 67% are living with either overweight or obesity, which is 12.5 million children and adolescents. So I shouldn't say adults, that's a mistake. Not children and adolescents, 12.5 million adults, apologies. And that means, therefore, 36% are overweight but not obese, 31% are obese, and 12% are severe obese. So really, really damning sort of stats, and something, as I say, I think it's really important that we as potentially parents with kids or ourselves, if we can try to change that. Now, the healthy eating pyramid, there was an original version of this, and then there was an updated version done from Nutrition Australia more recently, which, as you can see, there's some crosses to the side and some ticks and other bits and pieces to try and add to that. But basically, this common thing I'll hear all the time is that everyone says that the healthy eating pyramid doesn't work. And judging the overweight and obesity levels in Australia, you look at that and go, well, yeah, maybe it doesn't. But the problem is 90% of Australians don't follow the healthy eating pyramid. And that's the problem. We all see Mr. Instagram guy say, eat lemon and go eat broccoli. That'll help you. Others tell you go and do a low detox this and 30% of this in your diet and all these different things. And you see someone who goes, I did this and they look thin. So you go, that's great. That must be working. It doesn't work for everyone. And it's usually for a small period of time if it does. If we stick to something consistently over a long period of time, such as the healthy food pyramid, that's what gets us in the shape that we should be in. But it's very hard for us to stick to it. And that's where sometimes we need some support and accountability. Now, this video is a ripper. Now, it's 80 minutes. And every time you look at this, if I was a Joe Blow and someone said, go watch an 80-minute video on something I wasn't interested in, there's no way I'd watch it. But when a client comes to me and says, I want to lose weight or I want to improve my body composition, I say to them, if you're serious, you're going to invest money to see me to help you, you need to watch that video. If you don't watch that video, I guarantee you, you're not going to get the results that you want with your nutrition. So 99% of our clients will watch the video and they'll all come back going, oh my God, that's so simple to understand. It's so easy. And that really gives me some direction. So I would urge you, and the link's there. And again, Natalie can send this to you if you need it, or myself. It's a fantastic video. The guy's a bit dorky, but leave that out of it. His information and knowledge and practical tips are amazing. And it's the catalyst for getting people that we work with to lose weight or body composition change, because it really sets you up with some simple and easy to understand nutrition that you can take home and apply on an everyday basis. So it's called Calorie Density, How to Eat More, Weigh Less and Live Longer. I'll just share a quick little story. There was a lady, am I going okay for time, by the way? I haven't even thought to look. Thank you. A lady came to me who wanted to lose weight. She was so hardworking, life balance out of control, and came to me saying, I want to lose weight really quickly. I needed to shift. And everything was about weight. So what do you think I did? I tried to change her mindset to body composition, strength, balanced life. Anyway, she was very much into a very heavy sort of meat, eggs, sort of that style of diet, which doesn't really sit with the healthy food pyramid. So I said, look, love you to go and watch this video. It's up to you. I know that's where you're heading, but would love you to watch this video. And lo and behold, she watched the video. She came back, she was, oh my God, that was so easy to understand. Let's get cracking. So then for the next week, I gave her some tips on food and nutrition. She'd ended up losing 9% body fat, which was absolutely amazing. 9% body fat, put on 6% muscle, lost 10 kilograms, became absolutely healthy with her exercise rather than nuts. I had to reduce her from 7 days a week to 5. So you can talk about someone that's just go, 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 trying to change her to be balanced, and it worked and was amazing. So sometimes we just need the right advice, easy to understand advice, and someone in your corner to help you through it. And as I say, she was a great example of that. And I've got millions of other stories, but that's just one to share there. So that article, that video, if you want to spend your 80 minutes, I think it's very well worthwhile. And otherwise, I've got some great healthy eating tips for you to take out of today. So the number one thing that happens, so we're, just to put this as a disclaimer, no personal trainer in Australia should be able to tell you what to eat. They can't write you a meal plan or a dietary plan unless they are a qualified, and that's university qualified, dietitian or a nutritionist. So that's their job. As a personal trainer though, we can look at someone's diet and give them suggestions and tips on how to improve it along in line with the healthy food pyramid. So this is number one that I do. It's a 3-step strategy to increase your fruit and vegetable intake. Now, interestingly enough, that video gives you a lot of those reasons why and what you should be doing and keeping your calorie density low. So the first one is I get someone's food diary and look at it over 7 days. And if we look at the mid-morning and the afternoon snack breaks, if they're not getting at least 7 fruit and vegetables, so if you're not getting 7 fruit or vegetable snack breaks out of your 14, then you're very low on the amount of fruit and vegetables you should be having. So the first step is to try to aim for 7 out of 14. So that becomes goal number 1. If you start achieving 7 out of 14, then I say you've done great. You've got to number 1. Let's aim for step 2. Can we get to 8 to 10 out of the 14 snack breaks having fruit or veg? It might be an apple in the morning, a piece of carrot in the afternoon, could be a banana, etc. But the point is, we then try and increase to 8 to 10. If we get that, we move to step 3, which is 11 to 14. Now, the interesting thing about that is often when I look at someone's food diary, it might have a donut in the morning or a pack of chips in the afternoon. All of a sudden, you might be having an apple and a donut or an apple and chips. But all of a sudden you start going, I don't need my donut. I don't need my chips. Now I'm having just the fruit and vegetable. And lo and behold, you start slowly but surely changing the good stuff for the bad stuff. And surprise, surprise, you look better, you feel better, you lose a bit of weight, your body composition changes, you feel better mind-wise to make better choices, and the whole thing changes. So it's a really good little simple strategy to start with trying to improve your diet without breaking the bank, because it's just something to work on simply for yourself. But there's some targets that I'd love you to try and have a crack at and see how you're going. Think of your mid-morning and your afternoon is 2 in a day, 7 days in a week equals 14. And then that's a great little way to see if you're improving and hitting those targets. The other one I always like to use as a little habit for people when they want to eat an unhealthy snack. So let's say, for example, right now, I'd love to have a pack of chips. 3 things I could do before I have that packet of chips. Number 1 is to eat a piece of fruit first. So I've had my piece of fruit first and I still feel like the chips, go for it. Otherwise, drink a glass of water. Feel like the chips, go for it, or walk a lap of the block. So if you get into that habit of doing that, instead of it being 100% default that I'm having those chips, it might be 90% chance of having it. It could be 50, could be 0%, because you condition your brain to start thinking, I want that, but I'm just going to go for a walk of the block. And I had some clients that go nuts. Can I do all 3 of those things? Of course you can. It's going to be beneficial for you. And then most likely you're definitely not going to have that pack of chips. So it's a great little way of just breaking, because a lot of people, the reason they don't get to their body composition target that they want is it's the snacking of bad stuff. So if they just replace a little strategy like that, it could be enough to be the balancer to get you to where you want to be. All right, that concludes my presentation for today. So in essence, that was obviously designed to give you 7 little things to target, obviously, for better health and well-being and happiness. Obviously, yeah, that's my details. If anyone wants to contact me, I'm more than happy to chat in any capacity. As I said, not here to sell personal training, just here to try and give you some sort of strategies to help improve your health and fitness. If there's something that you're unclear of, happy to have a chat. I drive all the time. So if you want to have a chat over the phone, happy to do that. Any email, any correspondence, any articles that you'd like, let me know. And otherwise, I hope that that's been a benefit for you today, and wishing you well in your journey.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's so good. Yeah.
I'll just turn off the share screen and see anyone has any questions for us.
Yeah, no worries.